Alright, it says I am live. YouTube also says, though, that the stream status is bad, so somebody eventually let me know. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well. Look at that, I've got a little pokey thing with the hair there. Hey, Atta, how are you? Hope everything's well over there in Yankee country. So, yeah, how is the quality of the video? As I said, YouTube is reporting to me that the stream is bad. So I don't know how to quantify that. I look and sound fine? Fine. Well, that is good enough for me. How's the background music? Do you hear it? Is it too loud? Is it too soft? You know, I've been listening to them also, and I think it's a little loud. So I turned it down just a little tiny bit. But please let me know if it's especially too loud, right? I like to have that there. It's really awesome that I can have that in the background. Anyway, starting a little bit early because I was a little concerned about quality because I bumped it up actually to 720p. I was running at 480, but OBS is giving me the green light. This machine is running pretty hard, but should be okay. So yeah, just let me know if the audio or the music gets a little too annoying. So yeah, just starting a little bit early. It is 21:59. We're into the last minute here, the last minute stretch, and yeah, everything's good here. Hope you're doing okay over there as well. It seems about right. Groovy. So yeah, you know, man, I really don't like not being able to do this daily. It's sort of but at least at the moment, this is what I've got. That might be changing sometimes relatively soon, but not anytime extremely soon. So yeah, I do not want any lyrics at all anyway. So you know, this is supposed to be sort of spacey music, sort of you know, oh, encoding overload, it says. So yeah, this machine is working pretty hard here at 720p. So you know, maybe I'll keep it going the way it is here, but maybe I'll drop it back down to 480. Just, you know, that's you know, it's better than zero, which is the alternative. So all right. Well, welcome everybody to Astronomy Discourse Live. It's the 3rd of September, 2019, and yeah, we're into a brand new month now. So, you know, this is just a fun, casual get-together of friends. Well, Atta, it's sort of both, but yeah, it's not a huge deal. So yeah, this works really well. And you know, having said that, you know, I'm sort of, you know, not too happy about not being able to do this daily. It's also I found in this past month where I sort of took a little bit of a break that you know, it was sort of nice having my evenings back, where there wasn't this block of time where, you know, it's not as if I had to, but you know, I mean, when I say I'm going to do things, I'm going to do them, right? That's how I am. So you know, it was by no means at all a burden. It was just, you know, going along with things, and then I would have to stop, do the live stream, and then restart again. Ah, come on in.
I was going to ask if you need help getting the 3445.
Come on in and say hi. Here's the boss. There he is.
Hello out there, everyone.
I don't think there's
Happy
too
to
many
see
out
you.
there. No, but yeah, so
I don't know. Maybe I don't get to see you. You get to see me.
yeah, that's how
I'll
it
apologize
is.
for that now.
That's how it is here. But yeah, so I'm taking all your bandwidth now. So
It's okay. Take
thank
it
you.
away. I'm going away. See you later.
All right, yay, yay! The boss is going. Yay! Okay, well, cool. So yeah, it is the beginning of the month, and yeah. What do you think, Atta? He's single too. Uh-huh. um, so yeah, it is the beginning of the month, and at the beginning of every month, what I like to do is I like to sort of find out what's going on in the sky over the next month. So you know, if I need to make any kind of plans or anything, you know, want to see some kind of you know, extraordinary celestial event, then I can. So yeah, sit back, relax, grab your consumable of choice. I've got the big mug here. I actually when I got this mug, I actually watched it being made. So it wasn't exactly a custom thing, but they were making these at the time, and you know, so I sort of looked at them, you know, before they put them into the, you know, the fire, you know, the oven. And I'm like, I think I want that one right there, and this was it. This is how it came out, and I absolutely love big mugs. I'm not into little drinks or little food or anything. You know, these you know, these high class restaurants have, you know, well, you know, regardless of the size of the plate, they've got these plates, right? And then they've got these little things on them, which I think is food, I think. But, you know, it's like, no, you know, I want a big thing, right? So I'm also into big mugs. So cheers. I've got the HOH here, the hydrogen hydroxide here, so cheers. It's going to be clear in your area tonight. Yeah, you know, that's actually one of the nice things, I guess, Atta, about this different time, starting at 22 hours UTC as opposed to 2 hours UTC, is that well, you know, depending on you know, the time of year, you're either 2 hours ahead of me or 3 hours ahead of me. So I think right now you're 3 hours ahead of me now. So it's 6:06 p.m. there. Is that right? So yeah, you know, the sun is probably still up, I would think. Of course, you know, the sun is well up here because it's only 3:06 p.m. here. So I'm in Arizona, southeastern Arizona, and yeah, we're always 7 hours behind UTC. So yeah, hydrogen hydroxide here, HOH, the most amazing molecule in the universe. Cheers. All right. put that way over there so it doesn't go away. Fall distribution 5 and 7 3 times a week. Oh, I got you. Yeah. Well, you know, like I've always said, this is a very, very casual gathering. So, you know, you can come in every single day that I'm here. Stop in every week, every month. I'm just happy to see everyone, and you know, my primary goal is just to share my passion for all things astronomy and space and science, those kinds of things, all kinds of nerdy things. So, all right, well, cool. So what I like to do at the beginning of every month is find out what kind of celestial events are going on and kind of get an idea of what the situation is. What exactly is our situation? Where are we? Where are we going? You know, supposedly we're hurtling through space at you know, very, very, very fast. I think I should do that computation again because it's been a while, and maybe I'll consider doing that relatively soon. And that is calculating how fast we are moving right now in terms of rotating on the Earth, revolving around the Sun, and then revolving around the center of the galaxy. And as I recall, it's something like 1,000,000 kilometers per hour or so we are moving. You know, wow, it's just dizzying thing. Yeah, well, I hope that your observing is successful. You've definitely got the moon in a nice spot. You know, Jupiter is over there too. Saturn is out. So, you know, you've got some nice bright objects. You know, the moon is, of course, coming out of new. It's a few days out of new. So yeah, we are definitely going somewhere. But again, that's all sort of relative too. You know, I don't know. It's just fun, you know, to think about that you know, relative to the center of our galaxy, right? Just relative to that, we're moving so much. It's just incredible. Just absolutely amazing. All right, well, our situation at the moment, where I like to start with that, is to sort of get an overview of the solar system and the positions of all the planets therein. So let's do that. I'm going to switch the view here over to the browser. Here we go, ready? Like that. And so I'm going to flip over here too. And so here is, you know, the inner solar system in this little box. And then here is the so-called outer solar system. So I can zoom in on the inner solar system here. So here's the Sun, of course. Here's Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. And you know, it's pretty obvious, right, that the Sun isn't in the center of the orbits of any of these things. It's most obvious when you look at Mercury, and that is, of course, because the planets don't orbit the Sun in a circle. They orbit it in an ellipse, and the Sun is one of the foci of this ellipse. This is the closest approach, which would be perihelion, and then the furthest away is aphelion. So here's the Earth, and you sort of have to imagine that we're looking at this from above, okay? And when you're looking at it from above, everything is going around the sun counterclockwise. So it's going around this way, okay? And in fact, all the planets, well, not all the planets, some of the planets are also rotating counterclockwise. Now, Venus isn't. Venus actually rotates the other way. So in this view, Venus is rotating on its axis clockwise. But these other three guys, including the Sun, are all rotating on their axes counterclockwise. And of course, you know, there are different angles and everything else. So, you know, the Earth is going around this way, and Mercury is going around this way, Venus is going this way, and Mars is going this way. So, as you can see, if you're standing on Earth, which most of us are, and we look towards the Sun, you'll see that Mercury is actually in conjunction with the Sun at the moment. That's actually called superior conjunction, and that's when Mercury is on the other side of the Sun. Mercury and Venus actually have two kinds of conjunctions with the Sun. One is called superior, when it's on, you know, the opposite side of the Sun, and then there's also inferior. If Mercury were right about here, then it would also be in alignment with the Sun, but on the Earth side. And one of the things that I need to alert you about is you see that Mercury is starting to come around here. So as you look at the Sun, what you'll notice over the next couple of weeks is Mercury getting higher and higher and higher in the evening sky, right? Because the Sun will be to the right of Mercury, or to put it another way, Mercury will be to the left of the Sun. It'll be east of the Sun, which means it's going to be an evening object. And as it comes around, it's going to be doing this. Well, actually, the next time that Mercury is in conjunction with the Sun is when that transit is going to happen. It's actually going to pass in front of the Sun. And I think we have to get the exact date and time on that. But I think it's happening like around November 11th or so. So yeah, we will definitely be talking about that more as the time gets nearer. But you know, start thinking about it now a little bit, because that is, of course, a great thing to see. It's pretty rare. Mercury, not as much as Venus. Venus, for the most part, is sort of almost a once-in-a-lifetime event. It goes through cycles, but yeah, I don't think that Venus is going to be doing it again for quite a while. Mercury does it a little bit more often, but again, it's something that you, I mean, you know, well, since you're on this live stream, I sort of have to assume, you know, that you're sort of on that. Mustafa, hey, what's up? Hope everything's well. So we're talking astronomy here, so welcome. I'm going to actually do this, just so we do that. Glad you could come in. So I'm just going over sort of the celestial events that are going to be taking place over the next month. With the not quite sure what you're what piece am I mentioning, or did Mustafa mention something? Regardless, okay, I'm gonna keep on going. Anyway, so that's gonna be happening. I think that's gonna be happening, like I said, around November 11th. But we should look that up sometime soon. But you can also see that Venus and Mars are also in pretty good alignment with the Sun here as well. And I'm going to get back to that. We're actually going to go over to the SOHO website. SOHO is a sun observation observatory out in I don't remember where SOHO is. I'm not quite sure where it's located, but it's observing the sun all the time. And once in a while, when you have a conjunction like this, you'll actually see these planets right in the field of view. And in this case, right now, we can see Venus and Mars. So that is pretty cool. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Let's look at the rest of the planets here now too. Whoop. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can. So you sort of have to imagine now where Earth is, right? Earth is going to be what, in this little box. It's going to be, somewhere. Try to zoom in a little bit here. It's going to sort of be here, right? And the sun, of course, is in the center. So, yeah. Jupiter is also to the left of the sun, as seen from Earth. So is Saturn. Uranus looks like it's to the right of the sun, so it looks like it's up in the morning sky. And Neptune is looking like, wow, it's getting pretty close to the opposition on the opposite side of the sun. We'll have to look and see if that is taking place this month or not. Anyway, so that's sort of the broad view. There's a little table here too, which is kind of neat. I set it for 15 hours local time here today, and you can sort of see what the distances between all the planets are, and also their velocities. And I guess this is velocity relative to the sun. So you can sort of see that the inner planets move faster than the outer ones, and these folks are stubbornly still calling Pluto a planet. At the moment, it is designated as a dwarf planet, and I'm not going to start my rant about this, but just want to say all the hyperventilating about whether Pluto should be a planet or not, in my opinion, I don't care. I don't care. I don't really understand what the big deal is. I mean, what's so great about being a planet? Everyone seems to feel that Pluto has been demoted, and no, Pluto hasn't changed. Pluto hasn't changed one bit. It is still as amazing as it's always been, and so I don't really understand what the big deal is. And if you're hung up about whether it's a planet or not, and the International Astronomical Union has defined a planet with certain parameters, and if it doesn't fit those parameters, then it's not a planet. If you want to change that, then change the parameters. It's as simple as that. So I don't really understand why everybody's so upset about that. Just because we were always taught that Pluto was a planet and now it's not, but it should be because we were always taught that. That is really, that is like, that is Dark Ages thinking. Um, you know, we were always told that the Earth was the center of the universe, and um, it's not. um, and as I said, I'm not going to rant too much here, but it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things that bother me, that the astronomical community is seems to be expending just a huge amount of energy on something, you know, to me, that it doesn't matter. Pluto is amazing. I don't care what you call it. Anyway, enough of a rant, I guess. Uncle Bill, hey, nice to see you. Okay, he mentioned a Celestron device. Cool, cool. Yeah, Uncle Bill, I forgot the everyone again. So, yeah, bad, bad cosmic. That's all I can say. Um, uh, so yeah, the Pluto thing, I, I don't understand uh, why, it must be a planet. The only argument that I've heard is that, well, that's what we were taught, and that, I'm sorry, that is lame. That is the one of the worst reasons I can possibly imagine for anything. So, folks, you got to come up with a better argument than that. Pluto is not, has not been demoted in any way. Okay, like I said, what's so great about being a planet? Who cares, right? I mean, we're going to have to redefine a lot of things as we learn new stuff. I mean, that's how it goes. And to be a scientist, you have to be flexible. And when and um, um, a different way of saying flexible is that you have to be open-minded, right? Open-mindedness is a requirement for science. Okay, so if you say, no, I was taught that Pluto was a planet, that's it, right? I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to. Pluto, I was taught that Pluto was a planet, therefore it must be a planet, and anything else is a demotion. That's baloney. No. Pluto is awesome. Period. It doesn't matter what you call it. Just like you're awesome. Okay? And, it doesn't really matter what you're called either. You're as, I mean, you're great, right? Just like everything else. So, all right, I've ranted enough about that. Let's go over. Yeah. Well, the flat Earth thing is another thing that is confusing to me. Why people are spending so much time ridiculing it. If you don't agree with something, just ignore it. That's what I do. So I don't even think about it. But astronomers will spend hours and hours and hours arguing against the flat Earth. And I don't understand why you would want to spend any time on that whatsoever. So anyway, so what I like to do is I like to go over to the cloudy nights, website. This is a great, great, great site. If you haven't already, you need to get over there, sign up for it, get onto the forum. It's a very, very active forum, knowledgeable. It's full of amateur astronomers, not too many pros or anything like that, but it's a great community. And what I like to do each and every month is just go over what's going to be happening in the sky over the next month. So let's do it. Oh, let's, yeah, we need to look at SOHO really, really quick. I noticed that on September 2nd, Mars was in conjunction with the Sun. So yeah, let's take a look at that. So here it is. Here's I don't think I showed how we entered here, but here is the latest so-called LASCO images of the Sun. What this is an instrument. It's called the coronagraph. They stick this thing in here to block the light from the Sun, and that allows you to see all kinds of things around it instead. So, and as you can see, there are a couple of misplaced objects in here. This bright thing here and this bright thing here. Well, that turns out to be Venus here and Mars over here. So it's pretty cool. We've got two planets, both on the other side of the Sun, right? So the Sun is between us and these two planets, and we can see them both. I think that's just awesome. Isn't that great? So you can see that there's, these objects in the sky are very, very, very bright. So they're actually, I'm not quite sure how long the exposure time is here for these cameras. They're probably not very, very long. They might be a second or so. But both Mars and Venus are being very, very overexposed. And in the digital world, where you're using, some kind of digital camera, like a CCD camera, all that energy from the overexposure sort of has to go somewhere. And so that's why you get these funny spikes like that. It's sort of like you've got a bucket here, right? You've got a bucket here and a bucket here, and you're pouring these photons into the buckets, just pouring and pouring and pouring. Well, when the buckets get full, they start to overflow, and that's almost exactly the same thing that is going on here. Is that the electrons are sort of overflowing and spilling out along these rows, and the brighter the object, the more photons and the more spillage you're going to get. That's almost exactly what's going on here. Not exactly, but it's close. But as you can see, Mars and the Sun are very close to being exactly lined up in sort of a vertical line. So we can go back here and see that, Mars was actually in conjunction of the Sun just yesterday, or a couple days ago. Yesterday, yeah, it's the 3rd. So that happened at 11 hours UTC. All these times and dates are UT, right? So you have to, in order to get your local time, you have to think about where you are in the world. And like I said, I'm always 7 hours behind UTC. So this event would have occurred at 4 a.m. local time here yesterday morning. So there we go. This can see when this was taken. I'm a little confused because I'm pretty sure that the apparent motion of Mars is still going this way, but at 1854 it looks like it still had a little bit of time left. Oh, but this is, yeah, this is the, yeah, and this is over a day. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to understand that. This is supposedly happening at 11 hours UTC on the 2nd, but it looks like from SOHO it hasn't happened yet. Just a couple hours ago. So, a little confused about that timing. But we'll keep going here. So, oh, you know what? Man, oh man. See, oftentimes, scientists are very, very wrong. All right, I'm going to take back a little of what I just said. This is not Mars. This is Mercury. This is Mercury. Mars, I don't think we can see. I think that is Venus, I believe. Maybe that's Mars. Now I'm very, very confused. We can actually, I don't know if I dare pull up, what's it called? Do I have it on here? I think I do have it on here. The planetarium program. I thought I had it on here. For some reason, my brain is going south on me, not remembering even what it's called. Okay, well, I'm gonna keep on going here, I think. So yeah, this is definitely Mercury, not Mars. My apologies. This I think is Venus, but maybe it's Mercury. And the only reason why I say that maybe it's Mercury is because Mercury and Mars are going to be very, very close to one another. In fact, they're at their closest just a couple hours ago, just a few hours ago. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure. This might be either Mars or Mercury. This is a sort of a zoomed in view. It's using the same kind of instrument, to block out the sun. But yeah, I think that's got to be either Mercury or Mars, because they're really close to one another here. So yeah, well, I guess that's one of the hazards of doing a live stream without any preparation. Yeah, see, that object would be right around in this area. So yeah, I'm thinking that one of these is Mercury and one of these is Mars. This is probably Mars. It's going to be brighter. So yeah, don't quote me on any of that. Stellarium is what I was. James Dugan, hey, how are you? Nice to have you back. Yeah, Stellarium. Do I have Stellarium on here? Now that I'm remembering what it's called. Yeah, I do. Let me pull that up really, really quick. It's probably going to bring this machine to a halt, to a standstill, but we'll we'll see how it goes here. I'm just kind of curious. I don't even know if I have stellarium set up from my latitude and longitude, but that's not going to matter. But these kinds of events doesn't really matter where you are on the planet. It's all going to look about the same. Yeah, I don't think that stellarium's gonna work too well on this machine. I forgot it's got some weird problems. So okay, I'm going to do that. I'm gonna kill stellarium if I can. In task. There we go. Okay. Okay, well, that's enough of that. Let's keep looking here. I'm gonna pull back the chat. James Dugan, I've been good. Kind of been on a roller coaster of sorts, and that roller coaster continues. But everything's good. Everything's all right. Yeah, there's nothing bad going on. It's just it's just insanity. So the usual insanity. So hope everything is good over there. James Dugan's over in Australia, so it's nice and early in the morning there. What is it, like 7:38 or 8:38 a.m. tomorrow on the 4th? Is that right? Okay, I'm gonna keep going here. So yeah, on the 3rd, well, so this just happened a few hours ago, that Mercury and Mars sort of passed as close as they're going to get, 0.6 degrees. So that happened at 17 hours UTC, a few hours ago. Tomorrow at 1 hour UTC, so that's actually only in a few hours, Mercury is going to be at superior conjunction, which means, of course, that it's on the opposite side of the sun. I think that has told me that this bright one, I'm sort of stuck on this. I'm thinking, I guess that this is, well, no, I guess I can't be sure. All right, keep moving here. Moon. Asteroid 135 Hertha is at opposition, which means when the sun sets, it rises. It's on the opposite side of the sun. First quarter is on the 6th at 3:10 UTC. Lunar X is one of the interesting features on the moon that you sort of have to be observing it at the right time in order to see it, because it plays with shadows and all of that. It's pretty cool, to see if you haven't seen it. But of course, you have an opportunity to see that every month. On the 8th, the trend continues that our friends in the south keep getting these awesome occultations of Saturn. I cannot believe how many occultations of Saturn there have been this year. It just blows me away. But what blows me away even more and just drives me absolutely insane is that us over here in the west and in the north, we don't see any of these things. It gets really, really, really close, right? They're saying here, this is probably for North America. So 0.04 degrees. That's 2.4, is that right? 2.4 arc minutes. So insanely close. But up here, at least, in North America, nope, we're not going to see it. Not going to see it. But those of you elsewhere, it looks like the South Pacific especially, you will definitely see an occultation, and that's when the moon actually passes in front of Saturn. And if you haven't seen that before, uh, t- take a look. Take a look. It is awesome. I've seen it once, and that was about 1,000,000 years ago. I'm well, like I said, it's driving me absolutely crazy that I'm not able to see any of these up here. But that's how it goes. That's how it goes. Um, so yeah, it looks like also on the 8th that Jupiter is at Eastern Quadrature. So it's exactly 90 degrees from the Sun, which means it's setting around midnight or so, right? It's exactly 90 degrees. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. So it's at sunset, Jupiter is very, very close to exactly being on the north-south line, and then 6 hours later it sets. Moon is at descending node at 18 hours UTC, so that just means that it's crossing a declination of 0 degrees and moving south. Moving south. The inclination of the moon is something like 9 degrees, or is it 19? I forget exactly. So the orbit of the moon sort of wobbles around, and so sometimes it appears to be slightly moving north or slightly moving south. And in this case, at this time, on this day, the 8th of September at 18 hours UTC, it, it, it looks like it's moving south. So on the 9th of September, we have another lunar occultation of Pluto. And this is, I don't know how many times that's happened this year. And again, it's in the south. South America, the Galapagos Islands, Easter Island, Polynesia. Okay? You all can see it. Go out and see that. In order to see Pluto, though, you're going to need a pretty big scope. You need a pretty big scope. It's faint. It's faint. Very, very faint. The moon is at about a magnitude -12, and Pluto is at about a magnitude +14. So that's 26 magnitudes different. So every magnitude is a factor of 2.5. So let's just see. If I do 2.5 and then I raise it to the power of, what did I say? 26. That's so the moon is about 22 billion times brighter than Pluto is right now. So yeah, so you'll need a telescope. You'll need a telescope for that. Cool, cool, excellent, excellent. James Dugan's looking at Jupiter. Now is definitely a very, very, very good time to be viewing Jupiter. And let me see, do I have, I'm going to, this is sort of a little bit of a tangent here, but do I have Jupiter viewer? Let's see if I can find. Wow, I did. That's pretty amazing. So, James, I've probably popped this in the chat a few times already. But if you go over to that site that I just posted, you can type in your observation time. So you can say, like, and I think this is all UT. So let's just do it for right now. So 0903. Can you see that all right? I can zoom in a little bit. And we'll just call it 2247. Let's make it pretty large field of view. Jupiter, we'll look at the 4 moons, no rings, make the moons a little bit bigger so we can see them. You can create these kinds of plots which will tell you which moon is which. And wow, right now is kind of an interesting time to be observing Jupiter, because look, Europa and Callisto look like they're right above, right below each other here. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Okay, well, that's a little bit of a distraction there. Oh, and I wasn't showing it. Let me show you what I was looking at. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, this is as of right now. Io is over here, west of Jupiter, and then you've got the 3 other Galilean moons over here with Europa and Callisto sort of right on top of one another. So you know, you usually see these moons all in sort of alignment. Well, here you've got 2 that are in sort of a funky configuration here. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, check that site out for sure. It's a useful tool. So when you go out, you can look really, really smart to all your friends and say, ah, there's Ganymede. And you see those 2 that are right on top of one another? Well, the top one is Europa, the bottom one is Callisto, and then they'll say, yeah, but you know, there's this other one over here on the other side. What one's that? And you can tell them it's Io. So you know, you can look really, really smart, you know, to all your friends and everything that way. And of course, that's what this is all about, right? Is just looking smart. So, all right, so let's go back here. So on the 9th, we got a Pluto occultation. On the 13th, the moon is at apogee, which is when it's furthest from Earth. So you know, the moon also doesn't orbit the Earth exactly in a circle. So it's got a close point and a far point, and the far point is what's going to be happening on the 13th. And it's going to be, what, 406,000 kilometers away? And that's happening early. It's happening at 1:32 UTC on the 13th or so. And that reminds me, I've got to get the Apogee podcast up. I do a monthly podcast over on 365daysofastronomy.org. And so, yeah, in the next week or so, I've got to get that produced and all that. So, yeah, I've got to get on that. Cheers. Okay. So that's happening on the 13th. That's the apogee, lunar apogee. Let's see, full moon on the 14th. That's occurring at 4:33. So just about just a little over 24 hours, like 27 hours after apogee comes full moon. 17th, the sun enters the constellation of Virgo. 9:18, Saturn is stationary in right ascension. So that just means that, you know, the relative motions of Saturn and the Earth are such that when we look at Saturn, it looks like it's not moving in right ascension. It's probably still moving in declination, but not in right ascension. And it looks like Saturn is going to be moving back into prograde motion. So I guess it's probably been in retrograde for a while. So cool. Okay, so that's happening on the 18th. You know, I like a lot of these events because they are, what I call shared events. These are events that all of us experience, whether we know it or not, whether we see it or not. These events occur, and I'm really into shared events because they aren't special to a particular place or to a particular person. They are shared events, and things like a full moon, right? Everybody experiences a full moon. Everybody experiences the apogee. So I like those kinds of things. Let's see. Mars and Neptune are at their opposition, so that just means that from Mars, Neptune is on the opposite side of the Sun uh, as the Sun, yeah, and vice versa. That's kind of cool. There's just an alignment there, right? So Mars, Sun, Neptune. That's kind of cool. Let's see some more lunar features. 23rd, the moon is at the ascending node, so now it's crossing the celestial equator again. It's at 0 hours declination, but now it's moving up. It's moving north. Sun is at a longitude of 180 degrees. And on the 23rd, yay, the autumnal equinox occurs at 7:50 UTC. So that's a very, very special day. That's one of my 4 favorite days of the entire year are the equinoxes and the solstices. So this year it's happening a little bit late, September 23rd at 7:50 UTC. So for me, that's actually at 12:50 a.m. on the 23rd. So it's a little bit later than what it normally is. It usually occurs sort of on the 21st or 22nd, but this year it's happening on the 23rd for a pretty big chunk of the planet. So that's kind of cool. Lots of cycles up there. So that's always an exciting time. We'll definitely have to celebrate that on the 23rd or 24th, whatever, or 22nd maybe. Let's see, 24th, just sort of the usual things. Asteroid Vesta is stationary in Taurus, and again, that's just because of the relative motions between Vesta and Earth. It just seems like it's not moving for a short amount of time. 26th, the moon star nearby. So on the 27th, Saturn is at its southernmost declination. Yeah, I mean it's really, really, really south. For those of us in the north here, it's very, very low on the horizon. Even at my latitude here, I'm at about 32 degrees north or so. It's still very, very, very low. Jupiter is low too. So, okay, on the 28th, Moon is at perigee, so that's when it's closest to the Earth. So its apparent size is large, and of course it's close, 357,000 kilometers. That happens at 2:24 UTC on the 28th. Lutetia, the asteroid Lutetia, is at opposition at 4 hours UTC, and 16 hours and 2 minutes after perigee, we have new moon. So of course that's when the moon is right between the Earth and the Sun. So that's happening at the end of the month. Mercury, Moon next to Spica, cool. And you know, he always puts in lots of other kind of really neat information, historical information, what each of the sort of planets and moon is doing. I'll have to the time of the equinox is sort of the best time to see zodiacal light. So zodiacal light is this interesting phenomenon, I guess. There's dust in our solar system, and from time to time, if the angle's right and everything is just right, you can actually see that dust, and it just looks like a glow. It's like a strip of faint fuzzy light, and it's just a glow that sort of extends right out of the sun and goes way up into the sky. And if you get to a dark site, a very dark site, the zodiacal light is actually really bright, kind of annoying. So if you haven't seen zodiacal light yet, try to. It is definitely worth seeing. It's an interesting phenomenon, and it just proves that there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of garbage out there, and we're seeing it all. So yeah. Lots and lots of info here. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, comets, asteroids. Lots of really useful and neat info there. Kira H, hey, nice to see you. Hope all is well. So, all right, yeah, new schedule. That's how it goes. I'm still getting used to it too. I'm doing this from my day job now, and it rolls around to this time, and I'm still working on stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, I've got to do the live stream in 22 hours. So yeah, I'm trying to get into that groove too, but thoroughly enjoying it. It's always awesome. It's always great to have everyone here. And having said that, I think I'm going to get on out of here. I noticed that it is 23 hours UTC. It's 4 p.m. local time here in southern Arizona. So yeah, I think I'm going to get on out of here. It's looks sort of like a normal astronomical month. We've got the equinox in there. But yeah, just sort of the normal goings-ons, which are always exciting anyway. So, all right, well, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. I'm going to take one more big gulp of this. So cheers. This is definitely not as good as the home brew, but it'll do. It'll do. So, okay, everybody, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. Yeah, Should be here tomorrow. Should be here the rest of the week. Yeah, don't see any reason why I shouldn't or can't. So yeah, I should be here the rest of the week. So I look forward to that. So yeah, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up if you so desire. Share this around for sure. My goal is to just share the passion and all things astronomy and science and stuff. I love it, and there's so much of it that I will definitely never ever. It's impossible to run out of material. So if you ever find everybody not knowing what to talk about in terms of astronomical stuff, you point them to me. I will let you know, because there's just too much. There's too much. It's a great place. The universe is an amazing place, and I stand in awe. When you come to this live stream, do not expect answers to questions. What you should expect is questioning answers. So lots of questions here, not many answers. I don't have any answers. Being a scientist, I have an inquisitive mind. I have questions, and the answers are okay, but to me, every answer is sort of preliminary, based on what we think we know, and I gotta say, we don't know much. Don't know much, but that's okay. I think if we knew everything, it'd be a pretty boring place. So I think I like it just the way it is. That it's not too easy to figure out things. It's also not a completely random place. There are some really interesting patterns and things going on, both visible and invisible, and it's nice to be around to at least observe it, experience it, and if we want, scientists like to try, to understand them a little bit more. And it's like, oh, okay, well, maybe this is happening because of this, but really, who knows? So yeah, if you're looking for answers, you've come to the wrong live stream. If you're looking for questions, you're in the right place, because I've got a trillion of them. so okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna get out of here. Peace, cheers, and all that. I will see you in a little less than 23 hours from now. Just one rotation of this planet. We're gonna get back onto the object of the day that we started the other day. NGC 5576, I think is what it was. It was either 5576 or 5567. I think it's 5576. We're going to get back on that and see what that elliptical galaxy is all about. So yeah, I think that's probably what we might do tomorrow. But one never knows. This is completely unscripted. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Send me an email, cosmiclettuce@gmail.com, and I'll be more than happy to talk about what anybody else wants to talk about. I'm running this live stream, but I'm not necessarily running the conversation. So I mean, I can talk about astronomy forever, so that's not a problem. But if you have any ideas at all in terms of topics, let me know, because we can definitely investigate those things. But like I said, if you're looking for any kind of answers, yeah, I'll give you what is currently understood. But is that an answer? Not even close. Okay, I'm really gonna get out of here now. Peace, cheers, and all that, everybody. Oh, I've got to pull up my YouTube thing in order to to stop the stream. Okay, everybody, take care. I will see you later. Don't get dizzy.